My wife said, "Be mature about it. My ex is coming to Christmas dinner." I nodded. Of course. What she didn't know was that I invited one more guest, his fiancée. When everyone finally sat at the table, the silence said everything. That Christmas dinner became a moment no one in my family will ever forget. Original post. I'm a 34-year-old husband who believed calm was strength. I thought maturity meant swallowing discomfort. That night taught me the difference between patience and self-respect. I met Laura 11 years ago, back when Christmas lights still felt magical and promises felt permanent. She laughed with her whole body, leaned in when she spoke, and made you feel like the only person in the room. We built a life brick by brick. First a tiny apartment with radiators that hissed all night, then promotions, then a house with a dining room meant for family holidays. Her past was never a secret. She dated Marcus in college, a long, serious relationship that ended before she met me. We're civil, she'd say, almost proud of it. I trusted that word. Civil, clean, closed. The first red flag didn't feel like a flag at all. It was a tone. One evening in early December, Laura was scrolling on her phone, smiling at something she didn't share. When I asked what was funny, she said, "Oh, just Marcus being Marcus." She said his name casually, like a footnote. I nodded, told myself not to be insecure, told myself maturity meant not asking follow-ups. Still, the room felt colder. A week later, she brought it up while we were planning Christmas dinner. Guest list, seating, the usual choreography. She cleared her throat and said, "I want to tell you something before you hear it from anyone else." I braced. Marcus is going to be in town. His parents are away. I invited him. I waited for the joke. It didn't come. "Be mature about it," she added, touching my hand. "It's just dinner." I nodded. Of course. I even smiled. Inside, my thoughts raced like a car skidding on ice. Why now? Why here? Why Christmas? I told myself to trust my wife. I told myself love was confidence. That night while she slept, I stared at the ceiling and replayed old moments, searching for cracks I'd ignored. The days leading up to Christmas were loud with decorations and quiet with tension. Laura hummed while she cooked, texted more than usual, stepped outside to take calls. Once, I caught a glimpse of a message preview before she swiped it away. "Can't wait to see you." No name attached. My chest tightened, then loosened as I forced a laugh at myself. "Paranoia," I said. "Be mature," I reminded myself, echoing her words like a mantra. On Christmas Eve, my sister stopped by with cookies. She pulled me aside and whispered, "Is it true Laura invited her ex?" I shrugged. "It's fine." The lie tasted bitter. That night, I checked Laura's phone while she showered, hands shaking despite my resolve. There was nothing explicit, nothing damning, just warmth, familiarity, a thread of intimacy that felt misplaced. Enough to keep me awake, enough to make a decision. I didn't confront her. I didn't argue. I planned. Marcus wasn't hard to find. Social media does the heavy lifting if you let it. His profile was polished, curated, engagement photos from the summer, a smiling blonde woman with her arm looped through his, a ring catching the sun. Caption, "Forever starts now." Her name was Emily. I stared at the picture longer than necessary, then sent a message I rewrote 5 times before hitting send. "Hi, Emily. This is awkward, but I think we should talk." She responded faster than I expected. Confused, polite, curious. We moved to a call. I told her the truth carefully, that Marcus had been invited to my home for Christmas dinner by my wife, that he'd been texting her, that I didn't know what it meant, but it didn't feel innocent. Silence stretched between us, heavy and hot. Then she said, "He told me he'd be with his parents." Her voice cracked, just slightly. "Are you sure?" I was sure enough. By the time Christmas morning arrived, the house smelled like pine and roasted garlic. Laura moved through the kitchen like everything was normal, kissed my cheek, thanked me for being understanding. "I knew you'd be cool about it," she said. I smiled back, steady. Inside, my plan ticked like a clock. Guests arrived with coats and laughter. My parents, my sister, Laura's aunt. The table filled with plates and candles. Then the doorbell rang. Marcus stepped in, taller than I remembered from old photos, wearing a confident grin that faltered when he saw me. "Hey, man," he said, extending a hand. I shook it firmly. "Welcome," I replied. Laura hovered, nervous energy buzzing around her. "Everyone," she announced too brightly, "this is Marcus." We sat. Glasses clinked. Small talk fluttered and died. Then the doorbell rang again. "I'll get it," I said, standing before anyone could stop me. When I opened the door, Emily stood there in a red coat, eyes wide, jaw set. I offered my arm. "Thank you for coming," I said softly. The room went silent as we entered. Chairs scraped. Someone inhaled sharply. Laura's face drained of color. "Marcus," Emily said, voice steady despite the tremor beneath it. "You said you were with your parents." The silence said everything. Laura looked from Emily to me, betrayal and fear colliding in her eyes. "What is this?" she whispered. I met her gaze, calm as I'd promised to be. "Maturity," I said, "looks different when everyone's invited." No one ate much after that. Words spilled, truth surfaced, excuses crumbled under their own weight. By the end of the night, the story we'd been telling ourselves was over. If you were sitting at that table, what would you have done? Spoken sooner, walked away quietly, or planned the truth like I did? Comment below and tell me which choice you'd make, because I read every response.